Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I just want to talk about if I was to start all over again with my Evo or be buying another one that is completely stock standard like this one was when I bought it, what would I do differently? Do I have any regrets in any of the parts that I've bought? And how would I go about building one from scratch all over again? So that's going to be the topic of today's video. Alright, so let's get straight into it and let's talk about a part that I regret buying that ended up costing me more money in the long run, and that is wheels. Now, I'm definitely not talking about the wheels that are on the car. These are basically my dream wheels. I'm talking about the ones that I actually bought before I got these ones. So these are, yeah, like I said, my dream wheel. Absolutely love them. Will not be changing these anytime soon. They are Ray's Graham-Lights 57DR in the mag blue color, and yeah, the color doesn't always come out in camera. It's basically black at night sometimes. When the sun hits it, like it is there in the bottom, it gets a really nice blue, but it's like a dark blue. It's got a lot of sort of metallic specks in it. Really nice looking color, and I think it just goes with basically any color car, and I really like it on the Phantom Black. So these, obviously, like I said, I do not regret buying. What I do regret is the wheels that I bought before this, which were some Enkei GTC 01s. I got those. It wasn't a bad price, but the reason why I bought them was this car came with the BBS wheels, and once you sort of notice how bad the fitment is on those, like they are well inside the guard. So, you know, here's the edge of the guard, here's the edge of my tyre. It's just inside, which is what I want. It sticks out. You can see a bit of the tyre at the front, basically, and at the back. With the stock ones, you could stand here at this angle and you do not see any wheel or tyre, basically. I feel like when Mitsubishi sort of like was speccing out the wheels, it's like they had a Ralliart or a base Lancer there to try sizes, because the stock size, which is an 18 by 9.5 plus 35, I believe it is, offset. I think I said 18 by 9.5, but it's 18 by 8.5, sorry, plus 35 for the stock ones. They fit perfectly on the narrow body Lancer models, so like the Ralliart and the VRX, GTS, whatever it is that you have. But if you have one of those cars, I can guarantee you get a set of BBSs or the Enkei Evo 10 wheels, and they fit so well. They fit basically how these wheels fit on this car. They sit nice and flush. But yeah, it's like Mitsubishi bought a set to try different sizes. It's like they put it on that one, like, yep, that's the perfect size, and then ordered that size for the Evo 10. I'm not sure if that's the case, but yeah, it just seems weird that they just didn't fit well with this car. So mine had the BBS, like I said. I liked them, but the fitment was terrible, and you couldn't get as wide of a tyre on there as what I wanted. So then I decided to get some Enkeis, and they were 18 by 9.5, I believe, plus 35, which I didn't really think about too much, but yeah, it was more of a Ralliart size. I basically swapped them for my BBS wheels. I also wanted to change the look of the car, because I'd had the BBS wheels for like 3 years on the car, and I was kind of tired of the look, and I was going to powder coat them black, and I just went, no, let's just get different wheels. So I managed to get a pretty good deal on them. Traded my BBSs in and paid some money to get the Enkeis. I put a photo up of what it looked like. Now, bear in mind, the car looked very different back then. But yeah, I'll throw you up a photo or two of what that looked like with those wheels. They were silver, looked pretty good, but yeah, the fitment was still not great. So I really regretted that. And then I thought, no, now that's it. I'm not buying any other wheels that pop up for cheap or anyone that wants trades. I'm just going to buy the wheels that I actually want, which was definitely Ray's. I was kind of keen on some TE37s, but didn't really have the budget for them at the time. And then, yeah, mag blue is really hard to get. So when these popped up, I got these off of someone who had a white Evo 10 MR, and then they sold it and they had these wheels, and they floated around on a few of their different cars. But I missed out on buying them the first time they put them up for sale, and they changed their mind and said, no, I'm keeping them. The day that I saw that ad go back up, a year later, I just snapped them up. So yeah, that's definitely something I regret, which kind of takes me on to the second kind of regret, is just when you buy one of these cars, I think the best thing to do is just work out a plan of what you actually want. So I had the habit of just, buying any mod that sort of popped up that I could afford and was cheap and available, and just sort of building the car in that way. Now that did work out well for me, because I managed to build this car to what it is on a pretty decent budget. I didn't spend, full price on almost any part where possible. So yeah, I did save some money, but it meant buying parts that I ended up having to sell or just didn't really work with what I wanted out of the car. So that's definitely something that I would do in the future, and that we've done for Letitia's car, is work out what we want out of it or what she wants out of it. Find the part that would work, and then we just buy it. If things do pop up cheap and it sort of doesn't quite fit the plan, but we think we could work around it, then yeah, that's definitely an option. But yeah, working out a plan and buying what you actually want and building the car to what you want it to be is definitely a smart choice, and something that I would do next time around. Okay, so the next thing that I would definitely do differently, and I've actually started to do recently, is keep all the stock parts where possible. I threw away or gave away or sold a lot of the stuff that really I wish I kept. Even something recently like the factory airbox snorkel, that I sold my whole factory intake. Most people, when they sell their intake, they seem to just sell the box and the piping and everything. I sold everything, and then I had to go then rebuy the factory snorkel again because I needed one. So yeah, stuff like that, if I had have just kept that and just put it in a box like I've started doing recently, I would have just been able to dig through, find that, put it back on, and I would have saved myself some money in the long run. But not just for that reason, but say if I was to want to sell this car, the best thing to do is keep the stock parts, because you can make a lot of money back by selling your aftermarket parts and putting some stock ones back on, or just reverting your car to stock to sell it for more, or then selling your stock parts afterwards. Either way, it's best to keep them for just any number of reasons. So things like suspension, yeah, I'm not too worried about. My suspension was faulty and leaking, so I ended up giving that away. But a lot of like little things that I wish I had have kept. And yeah, it's definitely something that is worth doing, because like I have a box of stock parts that I don't ever touch, but sometime I may need them, just like that intake snorkel. So definitely something that I'll be doing differently, and that we do with Letitia's Ralliart. With Letitia's Evo 10. We did the same with her Ralliart, so we were able to actually pull some of the parts off that we'd changed, put the stock parts on, because they were things that she wanted to keep for her new Evo. And then now we can do the same if we ever sell her Evo. We can remove those parts again, put the stock stuff back on. So definitely a smart choice, and something that you should do, and that I wish I had done from the start. All right, so the next thing is more to do with the engine bay and just performance side of things. Now, the smartest choice you can make when you are modifying one of these is to just get everything you want. Like I said at the start, like make a sort of a package that you want out of your car, work out what you want, but then do it all at once, and don't pay for multiple tunes. Like I've tuned this car quite a few times. Let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've had 5 tunes on this car. I did an original tune when I just had a catback and a test pipe, and got the 3-port solenoid, which definitely, I don't regret that one, because I drove that around like that for a bit over a year, and it did transform the car. But then I went and had a crack in my exhaust manifold, so I was replacing it, got an intake and a downpipe, and then got that retuned. Then I also went to E85 at that time, so I put injectors, and so it was 2 tunes there. It was an E85 tune and a pump fuel tune. And then just not even 6 months later, I decided to upgrade the turbo. So I had to do the whole thing again and retune on pump fuel and E85. After that, I went flex fuel, and luckily the tuner could just use those same tunes, and we just did a few more logs with differing amounts of ethanol in the tank. But basically, tunes aren't cheap, and they take time. Other than the very first tune that I got, I do e-tuning, so I just do the driving and the logs, and the tuner then just adjusts the car. I load the new map in, and we keep going. So it does save me a lot of money, but it's very time consuming. I usually smash out the tunes with my tuner in like a day or so, maybe 2. We just do a couple of logs and some idle the first day, and then the second day we'll go out and I'll do all the power runs, and he'll get it all dialed in. But if you've got rainy weather, or your tuner's busy, or you're using a different tuner who maybe not as fast with responding, then it can take a lot of time. I've heard some horror stories of people spending like 2 months and longer trying to just get a tune sorted. So if you're going to have issues like that, the best thing would be is to definitely just do it once. So yeah, I'm sure you'll end up doing it more than once total. But for me, I would just go get my turbo, get my manifold, intercooler, all exhaust components, get my injectors, everything at once. Yeah, it's going to cost more money. It's going to take more time. It's going to save you money, but it's going to take more time, and you may drive the car around stock for longer if you don't have the money to just buy all those parts. But it will save you a lot of money in the long run, because I've spent a couple of $1,000s on tunes that I'm no longer running. So really, if you think about it, maybe that 6 months that it took me to save the extra money, or the year, or whatever it is for you that'll take you to save to get all these parts you need, you're going to save yourself like well over $1,000 depending on your tuner's price. So yeah, it is well worth just doing it once, doing it right. So that's definitely something that is a big regret that I had. Okay, so I think I've covered everything that I definitely wanted to say for this video. I don't really have many regrets buying the car, but there is a few, and I now know what I do differently and what I will do in the future if I am to start another new build. But yeah, it's a video that I've had people ask me to make a few times, or just been asked the question enough times that I figured, why not just make this into a video? And yeah, it might be helpful to anyone who's just bought one of these cars, or any car really. But yeah, so that's it for today. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, definitely make sure you give it a thumbs up down below, and put a comment if you can as well. Comments and likes do actually really help the channel. I know YouTubers, and every video you watch someone says to do that. The reason for that, it does actually help the channel grow. So a small channel like mine, it is really helpful, as YouTube sort of sees that people are engaged in the content, and yeah, sort of then promotes the video and the channel to a whole new audience. So I'd really appreciate if you guys, any videos you're watching, just yeah, make sure you just give it the like and the comment. It takes a couple of seconds, and I do appreciate it. And if you're not already, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. I make a new video every Wednesday and Sunday, and really trying hard to stick to that schedule. So yeah, give me a subscribe if you're not already. I would appreciate that also. But with all that said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.